but we did get some very cool drone footage, and I almost crashed the drone into the bridge because it lost signal. All right, guys, welcome back. Thank you for tuning in again to part 2 of this road trip. Here we go.
I really want to point out here just how good the highway system is here in Malaysia, and really just how easy it was to drive.
Yeah, I was actually a bit intimidated to drive here at first, just because, I mean, you know, as a US guy driving in Asia, it can be pretty crazy, but honestly, Malaysia is chill, like compared to like Vietnam or Laos or Cambodia or even Thailand. Malaysia just is way chill. So it's easier to drive. I did drive in Laos, which is a little bit crazier, but it was on the right side of the road, the correct side. I'm just kidding. Just trolling some of you guys. But the being on the left side of the road, driving on there, it took a little bit to get used to. I'm not saying I didn't mess up many times. And I got to tell you, with the cars, like in the U.S., the blinker is always on the left. So I kept hitting the windshield wipers when I was trying to turn, right? I put my blinker on, but it was the windshield wipers. I was like, oh, it's like happened like 100 times. And then I got to put the windshield wipers on, and guess what? I turned the blinker on. So it's because it's backwards. But anyway, it ended up being very easy. And the reason it was so easy is because, I mean, it's just not that crazy. Malaysians are good drivers overall, very courteous drivers, very nice. And the highway system is very nice. I mean, it's just so much good highway, especially when you get way out there. The highway's still just fantastic. So even in the small towns and all that, I was just like, I was nervous for nothing. So if you come to Malaysia, it's so easy to get around just getting your own car. You have nothing to be intimidated by. Just, first few hours or whatever, you just kind of got to get used to it. But after that, it's easy.
So our ending spot for the night was a small town called Kuala Besut, and we stayed in an Airbnb that was about $50 that night. This is the stop that you take if you are going to get a ferry out to the Perhentian Islands.
Well, good morning from Kuala Besut. We are right off the coast of the Perhentian Islands here, and we really wanted to go, and we were very close to getting a ferry to be booked out there, but it doesn't look like we're right in the season to do so. It looks like the waves, looks like the water's going to be way too choppy because the biggest draw for the Perhentian Islands is all the snorkeling, all the sea life. So we really wanted to minimally take a day trip out there, but it just doesn't look like it was going to work out because there's 2 Perhentian Islands, and being the type of year it is right now, the small one is harder to get to, from what I'm being told, because they can't, the ferries can't go to Long Beach right now because the waves are so bad. In fact, the ferries couldn't even get to the big Perhentian Island just a few days ago because the water was so bad. So they got to wait for the water to calm down. So unfortunately, we're going to have to skip Perhentian Islands this time.
The next day, our goal was to make it to Genting Highlands, but on the way, we stopped at Terengganu. Is that how you say it?
Terengganu? Yeah, something.
Okay. To check out the very cool drawbridge they have there. It has an observation deck that you can go up in for about $1, but we didn't stop.
But we did get some very cool drone footage, and I almost crashed the drone into the bridge because it lost signal, and then it did a return to home, but it tried to do a return home through the bridge, so that didn't work out too good. But luckily, it's got protections where it didn't crash. Yeah. So that was nice, but it was luckily I could get the drone up because it was far enough away from the airport.
Yeah. After that, we headed further south to visit the very beautiful Sultan Ahmad Shah State Mosque.
Sorry?
After that, we had a good Indian lunch at Hamad Brothers Restaurant, about 100 meters or so from the mosque, and we all ate for about $25.
That was also pretty good. Very good quality. I wish I had more. The servings were not too big, but it was
Yeah.
a decent place to eat. And they had veg options.
Yes. From there, we straight lined it to Genting Highlands, and we got some really nice 2-bedroom residence suites at a hotel that we booked through Agoda, and that was about $70, $75,
Yep.
$75 a night. And that included breakfast. Breakfast was okay.
Yeah, it could fill you up if you kept eating it. But I'm not saying it was good.
It had fruit.
Yeah. Oh, and it did have a croissant or two, but like they were baking the croissants, like they had a bunch of greasy stuff and just kind of like weird stuff. And then they had some nice croissants, but like they put it in the oven and then like they brought it out and like everybody swarmed. You're like getting a croissant so you can, and then you go back to your seat and you're gone 2 seconds later.
Yeah.
Whoa, look at this. This is Genting Highlands, and we're on the 32nd floor of our hotel. Wow, look at all those smoky clouds out there. I really like this place. Now, this is a pretty good place for 75 US a night.
Yeah, it's a new property, so they're trying to get people to stay here so that they can get, reviews and stuff.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Okay, so this is our kitchen. It comes with a washer, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Decent bathrooms.
Yeah, comes with dental kits and shaving kits.
Whoa,
Hey, Daddy.
brah, look at that.
I need to show you something.
You need, okay.
So when you come up here and you just really need to go to the bathroom, this is what this door is for.
Oh, it's to the outside.
So you
Yeah.
So you run in. Okay, so let me act like okay. This is a test. Okay, so I close the door just a little bit. So I run in. I have to go to the bathroom. Get out of my way! I gotta use the bathroom. And then you come in here, and then you use the bathroom. And I'm just saying you really need to wash your hands. When I say you really need to use the bathroom, I wasn't talking about anything else. All right. Well, I think we're gonna eat dinner. And I think we're going to call it a night. I don't think we're gonna eat anything too interesting for dinner. Probably just go downstairs. We've been driving all day. It's 6 hours of driving. But I gotta say, I really like driving in Malaysia. I had no idea that I liked driving in Malaysia so much. It's just not hectic. It's not hectic at all. So for anybody coming into Malaysia and they want to rent a car because they want to see it, because that's the only way you're going to see just a big chunk of Malaysia is just get yourself a car. It's not a big deal. There's no reason to be intimidated. Rent a car. You start driving around. There are a lot of toll roads. It doesn't cost a lot of money, but you need a touch and go card. So make sure that you have a touch and go card, and so you can just quickly go in and out of all the toll booths. So just pick them up at any local metro station. I think there's other places you can pick them up and you can recharge them. I think you can recharge them like in 7-Elevens and things like that. So that's a big deal. So anyway, love driving in Malaysia. I'm very excited about tomorrow hanging out in Genting Highlands because I think it's going to be pretty awesome.
So we had a good night's sleep. We had that breakfast, and then we went and took the gondola up the mountain. And in Genting Highlands, I think there's 2 gondolas, and we took one of them, the main one.
The main one, yes, because they only use the other one when the main one is being worked on.
Okay.
Yeah.
And man, is that place built up. I mean, they have just a lot of hotels,
Yeah.
but then they have big mall area with the casino and indoor theme park with the zip line. And then they have the outdoor theme park.
Yeah.
But I guess it's almost always covered in clouds. It was like covered in clouds when we were there. But it is a very cool, which is nice. You're in hot Malaysia. You go up to Genting Highlands. It's very nice and cool. And it's sort of got like this mystical feeling about it because, it's got all the mist from the clouds.
Yeah.
It's cloudy. But it's just cool looking. And, if gambling is your thing and you're in Malaysia, I don't know if there's anywhere else you can gamble in Malaysia. Don't know. I wouldn't think so. But we don't gamble. So,
We didn't go
Yeah.
and see it. Yeah.
But there's tons of restaurants up there, tons of places to eat, tons of places to spend your money.
Yeah.
So very, very, and it's a very nice, it's just nicely built up. Very much different than any other place I've ever seen in Malaysia, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, it almost seems like everything is connected because everything is so close together. All the hotels, it's like the theme parks are, the outside, then you walk into the mall, and then there's the inside theme park.
So next up, we went to the Chin Sui Temple. That is a Buddhist temple and a Taoist,
Yeah.
Buddhist and Taoist.
Uh-huh. So that's why they call it the Chin Sui Chinese Cave Temple.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew that. Anyway, it was cool. Very cool place. Very beautifully taken care of. It's, way up there, really cool tower. And they have a lot of cool, just like exhibits, like this different levels of hell exhibit. And they have a great big Buddha there. They have a hotel there.
Yeah, it was really interesting because it was a whole big complex that they just built and built and built on top of each other. So the main temple tower that has levels of, where you can go and pray, and then they have the levels of where the hotel rooms are.
Yeah, like 13 floors or something? 12, 13 floors?
Yeah, it was something like that. And then the top level is where you go out into the complex area where they have all the sculptures.
And then you can go up into that other tower too,
Yes.
and go up even higher. And
Yeah.
then you can, go back behind, kind of like on the cliff side. They have like a walkway, and then there's like secret paths that go up that I went through some, and then you kind of like peek out, and you're kind of like all, I just kept walking because there was a path there. I just kept walking. I was the only one up there, but I got some really nice pictures from up there. And then after all that, we went and ate at the restaurant.
there.
And
Yeah.
what was the restaurant called?
The Chin Sui Cave Restaurant.
Okay, that would make a lot of sense. And that was a vegetarian restaurant.
Yeah, everything was vegetarian, and even like the meat options were faux meat, but it was done so well. Everything was so good.
It was freaking delicious. It was like quality restaurant. I mean, we're not vegetarians by any stretch of the imagination, but it was such a but we freaking love vegetables too. So,
Yeah.
but it was really, really well done. It was just quality. Everybody loved their food, and they had a ton of options, but that was about 75 US for 8 people. So
Yeah.
that was,
Still a good price for 8 people.
I think it was a decent price for 8 people. We definitely spent a lot more than that for, less than, but we also, yeah, it was because like Din Tai Fung, that we spent
Yeah.
about $75
For 4?
for 4 people.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Yeah.
and that,
It changed the Long's opinion on Chinese faux meat, though.
it totally did because there's different kinds of vegetarian, right? There's Indian vegetarian, where India, obviously humongous section of India is vegetarian, so they do vegetarian extremely well. Malaysia does not do vegetarian well. Malaysian vegetarian is not well unless it's done by Indian Malaysians. Chinese vegetarian, not usually done too well because there's not big swaths of Chinese that don't eat, veg. And I'm talking like, there's not 300 million, vegetarians like there is in India, or I don't even know, 100 million plus. It's got to be a big chunk of half. But anyway, so it was just interesting because there were not high hopes, because as we're traveling through Malaysia, Malaysia's very difficult to find a lot of variety for vegetarian. And I would say good vegetarian. It's hard. It does exist, especially in KL, the bigger cities, but it is a lot harder to find. We've never known because we never looked for vegetarian food, and we eat basically whatever. But for the Longs, they are vegetarian. It was difficult for them to find here in Malaysia. So so this was a very nice place. And I mean, from what they thought was the best Chinese
Yes.
vegetarian place they've ever
Yeah.
been. So highly, highly recommended for vegetarians and non-vegetarians, because it's just freaking delicious.
Yeah.
Okay, so the boba cha-cha is here.
Yeah.
And what is yams?
Yeah. Yams and like a coconut or coconut cream.
And it's like a
Warm.
sweet. We're assuming it's a dessert of some sort.
Uh-huh.
It's definitely steaming. Well, here, take a bite of it, honey. Let's
Okay.
see if it's any good.
That's tasty.
What is it? What is the taste?
Coconut cream. Coconut cream and yam. Is that probably like a carrotiness to it too?
Do you reckon they just boil it all together?
Yeah.
It's like just cooked it in coconut.
Oh, cooked in the coconut.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
Yeah, it's sweet.
As a dessert. Yeah, with palm sugar and stuff.
Yeah, it's good.
So this is the sago?
Uh-huh.
Now, isn't that what they make ambuyat out of? The sago?
I forget.
He's going to memorize
Really good.
He's going to memorize this.
That's really good.
Yeah, and I don't think we've had a dish with a better name.
What was it called?
Bobo cha-cha.
Bobo cha-cha.
Yeah.
Oh,
My name's actually Susan. I'm going to admit, I'm lazy.
Just melts in your mouth.
Yeah.
So weird.
After that, we went to the strawberry farm and picked some strawberries. But getting out of the place was crazy. I mean, Genting Highlands is pretty touristy, but that farm was a tourist maze. After you pick your strawberries, you have to walk about 30 miles through every possible hawker stall and touristy draw, from the virtual reality booth to getting pics with different animals. In the last of it, you go through all the plants where they try to get you to either take pictures with the plants or buy the plants. And then is the last restaurant, and then you get let out.
Oh yeah, but that's just like a really quick summation, because there's like 42 different places that you have to get through.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. We're like walking around, we're like, I cannot believe we're not out of this place yet. We came to pick some strawberries, we got some strawberries, and then
I think it took longer for us to try to walk out of there after purchasing our strawberries than it took to pick our kilo of strawberries.
yeah, it's freaking genius level amount of amazing that you have to go through. I mean, it's impressive. It's annoying it's just freaking annoying, but kind of impressive, because I just can't believe I didn't know there was that much room to make us
all
walk
of
through
that-
these aisles.
yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So, but that was it. That was the end of the road trip at that point. Anyway, but we got back to Kuala Lumpur. Thought we'd just talk about what else we got back here, and then you guys also got press passes to the climbing gym.
Yeah. So we got press passes to a climbing gym called Camp 5, and it's a really big place. It's really nice. They have a kids area, and they have a big wall for just adults. Like, they don't even let the kids on there unless,
Like 18 and over.
yeah, unless they've done a certain amount of classes of climbing classes.
Okay.
Yeah. So there are packages for just going there to play with kids. Like, if you have like rainy days, it's a really good place to take kids on rainy days. And they sell packages of passes. They sell packages for climbing lessons. And they have a really nice cafe there that does vegetarian. And the food is really good. And their coffee is really good. All the kids had a really great time there. And Bastion now has a new love of climbing.
Yeah, of course, Aiden always had, you know, a love of climbing.
Yeah.
So, and Aiden he rocketed, right?
Oh yeah, he rocked it. He did the hardest kids wall.
Anyway, okay, well, that's it for this video. I hope you guys like this format. We're going to be doing more of these kind of formats just so we can give more about our experience instead of just filming how it happened, you know, because kind of like this kind of informal.
Sometimes things are missed.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it's good for us too, because then we can look back on the videos and we get more information. We're reminded about, oh yeah, you know, that sort of thing. Because we have, like, lots of times we shoot videos, but, you know, we have thoughts about something, but we never were able to get it into the video. Very good. So we'll see you guys next video, and that will be about, oh, actually, before Saba, there's going to be another video.